All right, welcome to the last lecture of your Intro to Professions week for Phase 2. In just 48 hours or so, you will begin your first clinical rotations in the hospital. We know you have heard a lot from us this week, from a variety of different speakers offering their very important perspectives, and I know it can feel like we're just talking at you. So we want to give you the chance now to ask any questions you might have. You're on mute. Yeah, still on mute. Okay, moving on. For your final lecture, we'll break you out into small groups with an M4 to give you some last-minute tips before you start the wards. Enjoy.
Everyone here? Okay, my name's Charlie. Let's make this interactive. Does anyone know what this is?
A QR code?
Right. Did anyone follow it?
Yeah, it linked me to one of those EPA evaluations that residents and attendings have to fill out during rotations. I think we already had a lecture on how to request these.
Great. Okay, so now just by following that, you have already done more towards completing EPA evaluation than most residents and attendings.
I don't understand.
Precisely, that's why I'm here. We'll come back to EPAs as a group a little bit later, but I do need an EPA for this session. So if you don't mind getting started on mine, that would be awesome.
Which EPA?
Oral presentation, obviously. You'll never use any of the other ones. Okay, now pop quiz. What is the ultimate purpose for a third-year Feinberg student?
To prepare for residency?
To figure out your career goals?
I'm actually an MSCP student, so I'll be starting my PhD after my first rotation.
You guys are so fucked. Okay, your role as a Feinberg third year is fill out the clerk log indicating you've seen every required case for that rotation. No more, no less.
Right, because if we complete all the necessary objectives on the clerk log, we'll have learned all there is to know about clinical medicine in that specialty.
And can figure out our career goals.
No. You fill out the clerk log so that the school keeps its accreditation. That's why you're here. It doesn't really matter if you learn.
Okay, but isn't it pretty easy to fill out? I mean, won't you end up seeing everything anyways?
You would think so, but sometimes it's harder than you think. All right, so take mid-clerkship feedback. On every rotation, you got to fill out that you've seen or that you've been given mid-clerkship feedback. On some rotations, it's very obvious, but on others, did that offhand suggestion by the attending sometime in the middle of the rotation constitute mid-clerkship feedback? What about that thumbs up they gave you after a presentation? Research boy, the clerkship director sends you a message saying, your clerk log's coming along well. Is that mid-clerkship feedback?
I wouldn't say so.
Well, you're wrong. Do you even care about this school? Do you want your degree to become meaningless? Someone took the time to look at a checklist, copy and paste a message into an inbox, and send it to you. And you're going to say that's not feedback?
Okay, but honest question, what if you truly never see a case in person? Like somehow you just don't have any headaches or C-sections or whatever. How are you supposed to fill out the clerk log? Surely the clerkship directors understand that you can't control the cases that walk onto your service.
That's a good question, but let me be absolutely clear, all right? You serve the clerk log. If there's no headache patients, you make a headache patient. Understood?
No.
Okay, where are we at with my EPA?
I'm really stuck. So what's the difference between do, I'll jump in at times, and do, I'll be here if you need me?
No one knows. All right, let's move on.
Wait. Just to be clear, are you suggesting that we give the patient a headache?
See a patient with a headache, read about a patient with a headache, give a patient a headache. All is equal in the eyes of the clerk log. Anyways, I was moving on to a quick game I call, Is This a Secure Space? I'm going to list a place you could store your things. You tell me if it's a secure space. It's very easy. First, a locked locker.
Secure.
Great. How about a resident workroom that requires a passcode for entry?
Reasonably secure sounding.
Agreed. Yeah, it's not the best, but certainly secure. Now, this one's tricky. An unsupervised, unlocked workroom.
Certainly not.
Yeah, obviously not safe.
Oh my God, guys, come on. All right, what don't you understand? if you say, like at the end of the rotation survey, that that's not a secure space, you are throwing the reputation of the school and the worth of your degree in the trash.
But it isn't secure.
Right. But it's in a hospital, and those are secure. Are you suggesting we send sick and vulnerable patients to a place that is not secure?
Couldn't I always just use my Feinberg locker for my rotations?
Yeah, of course, but that'd be so inconvenient.
But you admit it. There is always a secure space provided by the school. All right. Now, remember that, as I said, when you fill out your end of rotation evals, we cannot have a repeat of 2018. Okay, now the last part of this session is just going to be some rapid fire questions. All right. How many EPA evaluations should you request for every EPA that the rotation requires?
1-to-1. It's supposed to be in the moment feedback.
At least 3. All right. Prepare to send multiple follow-up emails. All right. Next, what constitutes a direct observation?
Supervised history and physical of a patient.
Right. You know, if you're lucky. One time, an attending said that based on my presentations, he figured I did a good enough job on the H&P. So, you know, what's the takeaway?
You put on the clerk log that you were directly observed.
Or else?
You throw your degree in the trash.
In the trash. I think you guys are getting it. Great.
I'm sorry, but this presentation is making me uncomfortable. Do you have any actual tips on how to do well on the wards?
Yeah. All right. Fine. Let's see. Show up 10 minutes early to everything for no reason. Stay as late as people tell you to, but if they say go, you run. Ask questions that sound smart, even if you already know the answers. Do not ask questions that don't sound smart. And I can't be more clear on this. Always fill out the clerk log. All right, that's all I got. EPA, well, how was my presentation? What do you think?
I'm sorry. So the pressure of choosing between do, I'll jump in at times, and do, I'll be here if you need me, was too much. So I just put, let's do this together.
That's honestly the most hurtful thing you could have done. I hope your constructive criticism was at least helpful.
I just put NA.
So cruel, so impersonal. You have the makings of a real attending.